In this photo, you can see I attempted to ballast the track on the layout. It turned out like hot garbage. So I'm going to show you what I did to remedy that coming up. Alright guys, so I'm working out here on the railroad today, and what I did is I tried doing some ballast work with some sanded grout and then some real coarse sand kind of with some pea gravel in it, thinking it would lock it all together, and what it did is it just made a big mess, and I wouldn't recommend doing that. So what I did is I pulled all that track up, and so here's a regular piece of track. So what I did is I painted all the track a flat brown, and it gets your rails the color you want, and then the ties, I like those better than the plasticky looking black. So I've got all my track painted. I've cleaned up the mess on the upper deck. On the lower deck, you can see it's still a work in progress, but I'm going to reinstall all the track on the upper level, and I'll show you kind of what I have in mind for ballast. Okay guys, so you can see on the upper loop I've got a lot of the track painted and reinstalled around the back. And then I did a little test section here with some ballast. This is a product I got from Home Depot. It's a Sacrite's the manufacturer, but it's an all-purpose gravel, but it's a 3/8 minus. So it fits in between the ties. I got to do a little bit more cleaning up with the with a kind of a stiff bristled paintbrush, but I think I can bring once I get this down, I can bring the bedding soil kind of up to it and really hide the concrete sub road bed and really kind of bring everything to life. So that's what I'm going to work on today. So where my track comes together, there's usually a tie missing. So the last thing I'll do before I ballast is I'll take an older piece of track and I'll yank some ties off of it, paint them brown, and then slide them in before I ballast everything. Okay guys, so you can see I'm got the track down and putting some of this ballast down. Just kind of lob it in there with my hand, and then I use this paintbrush to kind of shape it. Here I've got my buildings that go up here, so I will just fill this little extra bit in, clear to that retaining wall with ballast, and then I'll just use my paintbrush to kind of get everything down to tie height. And now I'll just run my finger along the outside, expose the ties, and then just kind of use the brush to kind of sweeten it up. And then once I get this all done, I will take the planter box part, and I'll bring in a little bit more of the black mulch, and I'll run it right up and try to cover this concrete sub road bed. So it should give it a lot more realistic look, but I'll keep working on this and I'll come back when I get done. Okay guys, so here's a quick look at the top loop with all the ballast in place. I still got to top off the mulch, but I really like the way this is turning out. So here's a quick look at before the ballast. This is after we painted the ties. And then here's another look at after the ballast is all down. I really like the improvement of this. So I'll keep plugging along on the lower loop. We'll do a test run here though. So with the ballast work on the top loop complete, I kept working for another day and a half, 2 days, and I was able to get the track work and ballast all completed on the bottom loop. I topped off the potting soil in the planters and ran that right out to the ballast edge to hide all the concrete sub road bed, and I'm really pleased with the way this turned out. So until next time, from the Silverado in Rio Grande, thanks for watching guys. Happy railroading.